Aiden Hutchinson's the first name we hear 2 weeks from tonight, do you think? What do you think?
Doing mock drafts, there is an element of how do you distinguish your mock draft from other people's. And for me, it's always, is it plausible? Is it a possibility? And I do think Jack was discussing very hard those pass rushers at the top, breaking that down. I think it's going to come down to Hutchinson or Trayvon Walker. And I just don't think Jacksonville can afford to make a mistake at the top. You know, in recent years, their drafts at the top have not been what you would expect. You know, these number one guys not producing the way you want to. And Aiden Hutchinson feels about as safe as you can go right now, in addition to you think he's going to give you terrific play. So I'd be surprised if his name doesn't roll out.
So where do we stand right now? And that's not the royal we. I guess that's a royal you. Where do you stand now on Kayvon Thibodeaux? I mean, you were on the concourse set. DJ and I were in the booth, and Willie McGinnis was on the field at the very moment when Thibodeaux put on his sweatshirt after running a 40 to say that he wasn't going to be working out after he told all teams that he was going to work out. His pro day, as we knew, was as dynamic as his game film when he plays his hardest, because that's been the question about his game film. So I've set it all up to put the moment in your hands now. Where do you stand on Thibodeaux going into the draft in 2 weeks, Charles?
Rich, I just did an article, and every year I do one now. It started with guys I thought deserved a first-round grade, and I've evolved it into what I call guys I'd pound the table for. You remember how Mike Mayock used to talk about that all the time. You pound the table for this guy, or you stand on the table for him. And I put Kayvon Thibodeaux in my guys I would pound the table for, because it feels to me like every year there's at least one player that goes through what Thibodeau's going through this year, a terrific player who has a couple of, dents in the chassis, and we come at them. And when I say we, I'm talking about all of us in football. And for him, it happens a lot with these pass rushers. So I actually went and did a little bit of homework, Rich, because I was with you when all that happened. You remember when I chimed in and said, I did a radio show with Kayvon Thibodeaux, asked him point blank. He told me I'm going to do everything because I'm a competitor. So it was a surprise to me as well. So I went back and asked some past general managers, the people who have been involved, give me some names of great pass rushers who you had motor questions on coming into the point that actually made it to the other side and did well. And two names that consistently came up in recent vintage, Myles Garrett, and in past terrific players, Bruce Smith. So I'm betting on him maturing, doing the things. Sometimes we come at these kids really hard. I'm betting on the other side and him coming out of it. So I still don't think he gets out of the top 5, and obviously definitely not out of the top 10.
So top 5, you say where? You think Detroit would take a shot on him? Do you think
I think Detroit's going to kick the tires on it, but I think Detroit is going to probably go – if they don't take Hutchinson, they take Trayvon Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Thibodeaux had a visit with Detroit, so they're doing due diligence on him. I think the bidding starts at 3. Houston with Lovie Smith. That's a great spot for him. And I think the Giants are going to want a pass rusher. To me, it'd be interesting to see if the Giants want to take a tackle first, if one's available, or if they take the pass rusher at 5, because you come right back at 7. And he's kind of made for Broadway, and you and I both know what the Giants are about as an organization, as a fan base. They're still chanting defense for Andy Robustelli. That's how the Giants work with defense.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.